TinkerCAD tips. Welcome back. This will be lesson 5 in TinkerCAD 101. I've covered a number of other subjects, and if you want to see those videos, go ahead and click on my bio up there and look down. You should be able to find those. I also have a TinkerCAD tips playlist on my bio, which includes nearly 600 tips and tutorials going back about 3 years. Click on that and take all those lessons. Lots of good stuff. All right, we've been working on a lot of the basics here. We've covered movement and resizing and shape selection and using the dialog for certain objects, etc. And today I want to try to cover some rotation and possibly some object alignment. So let's start with object rotation here. For this, let's go ahead and bring out our cylinder here, bring it to the forefront. Now with any object, we can rotate this in 3 axes. So if we select on this, if you look here, you get this little kind of half circle rotation here. Maybe zoom out here, come around to the side. There's another one here. And then there's another one down here. Now let's take this one down here, for instance. Now when you click on this, you can do some object rotation. Well, this one's not an easy one to see. Let's drag this one out. Makes it a little easier to see. So if you stay inside of the circle, you grab that and you move it, you're going to go in increments of 22.5 degrees. So there's 22.5, 45, 67.5, and there's 90. Okay? While you're holding the left mouse button, if you come outside that circle, now it will do this in 1 degree increments. And wherever you let go, that's where it'll stay. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. You can also click on that and type in an absolute. Now I believe this supports up to 2 decimal places. Let's try 1.10. Let me move the cursor there a little bit. 1.15 degrees. Let's try that. And probably hard to tell, but that did move a little bit. Let's undo that and do that again. Let's do 22.25. So there you go, 22.25 degrees. Same holds true with this up here. If you stay inside, it's 22.5 at a time. Okay. And you also have, I've got to select that there. You also have in this axis, again, if you stay inside the circle and hold that left mouse button, and if you go outside of that large circle, it's in 1 degree increments. Now there's a couple of other features we can use here with the Shift key, for instance. I'm going to select that object. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and I'm going to click on that. And as I rotate now they're in 45 degree increments. And that's regardless of where the cursor is at the time. It kind of ignores being inside or outside of the circle, but it will always be in 45 degree increments. It makes it a quick way of doing your object rotations. Okay? If anybody has any questions on those, of course, drop me a comment. Rotation can become very handy, for aligning the parts the way that you want them. They're putting them together. If you wanted something tilted to a specific angle, you can do that. Same holds true even of this cylinder back here. I'm going to pull outside the circle to do it in 1 degree increments. I can come around to this side of it, find that. I can go in that direction as well. So you can do all sorts of things with object rotation. Let's go ahead and undo some of those movements. All right, let's talk a little bit very quickly about object alignment. This is going to be very, very handy. You're going to be using alignment quite a bit. And we'll take it in its most basic format here. We'll select these 2 objects, and I'm just using the cursor to go around them. Another way of selecting more than one is you can click on one and then holding down the Shift key, click on another one or a third one or a fourth one. You can also hold Shift and click to deselect. For instance, these are both selected. If I Shift click the cylinder, it's no longer part of the selection. All right? So in order to do an alignment, that's either an L on the keyboard or up here above, you see this little symbol that says align. And if I wanted to align these two, I'm going to select them both. I'm going to click align. And then you're going to see all of these dots appear around here. Okay, for instance, this dot here would align the two down the middle from left to right. See, they both just moved. If I click on this outside one, then they'll both be aligned along that edge. Tell you what, let's make this one a little smaller so it's a little easier to see that movement. There we go. Shift select that. Click align. All right, now if I click on this one, they'll both align on the front edge. Back here on the back edge, I can align them both to the right. Click undo. Select realign again. I can select them down the middle. So if I wanted them absolutely aligned in that direction, now we have these as well. These would align both at the top. It's hard to see because the pyramid is covered by the cylinder, or align them in the middle, or align them both at the bottom. Now, here's a cool trick that you can do with alignment. Quite often, you have the circumstance where, let's say I don't want this pyramid to move at all, but I want to take and move this cylinder into alignment with the pyramid. So I'm going to select the two of those, or I could Shift select them. L on the keyboard or the alignment button. Now, before I begin doing any alignments, if I just simply click on that pyramid again, now it will remain stationary. It will not move. Just the cylinder will move in relation to that. Down the center that way, down the center that way. I could align at the top or at the middle of both. Okay? This also works on multiple objects. So let's bring out a third one here, and let's bring out a fourth one here. Let's go ahead and lasso select all of those. I'm going to click L for align, and then I'm going to click on that pyramid. I'm going to make it the focal point. Everything else will move in alignment with it. So I have that selected. Let's align in this direction. Then I'm going to align everything at the right edge. Okay, that's alignment. Let's go ahead and undo all of that. Deselect, move these apart again. Now let me show you where some of this kind of comes into play. Let's take this cylinder here. I'm going to rotate this over. I'm going to bring out a simple box here. I'm going to squish it down a bit. Okay, now I want to bring that box into this cylinder. I'm going to grab the two of those, click align. I'm going to click on the cylinder to keep it stationary. I'm going to align at this midpoint and then at this midpoint. And then in the middle this way. So now both of those are in alignment with each other. All right, well, that's the end of this particular lesson. I have quite a few more lessons to do here, so keep following. As always, like, follow, and repost. If you have comments, be sure to drop those or ideas for new tutorials. DM me, of course. And in the meantime, happy tinkering.